I get these kind of comments all the time, these kind of coulda, woulda, shoulda comments, and usually they come from people who are just seeing me for the first time or haven't seen me very long. They don't really understand the gist of this page. This page, number one, is for families of alcoholics, people who are recovering alcoholics and who would need to stay in recovery, and it kind of scares them straight. And number three is active alcoholics that recognize how they're affecting their families and their own mental health and their physical health, and maybe they should do something about it. I don't tell these stories, which are very vulnerable and expose a lot of things that I went through with my wife, as does her memoir, and it's all about awareness, creating awareness so that you can change other people's lives. It's not about you could have, should have done this, something that I'm talking about that happened 10, 15, 5 years ago. It's irrelevant at this point. I understand why people interject, but it serves no purpose. I'm going to read this real quick, and I'm not taking offense to this particular person. It's just in general, there's no point in it. And moving forward, I hope people get the message. But I don't understand how you could stay with someone who constantly put you through this over and over. My husband would not put up with any of those episodes for me. One, maybe two times he would. Okay, well, thanks. Yeah, well, number one, you are not my wife, and I'm not your husband. It's a totally different situation. You're dealing with different personalities, completely different stage of alcoholism, and a completely different set of scenarios. So, thanks for that. And what a lot of people don't realize about this page is I'm not here to be a people pleaser. I'm not here to be a yes guy or to make people warm and fuzzy. From the bottom of my heart, I really don't give a shit what other people think. It's irrelevant at this point. I don't mean to take that personally, but it's the truth. These stories are about to create awareness, and they help thousands of people. They help people realize, you know what? Maybe I shouldn't be drinking that drink every night. Oh, maybe I did affect my spouse. Maybe my parents, I put them through hell on earth. Maybe I should change my behavior and get some help. That realization, gosh, you know what you went through resonates with me. And you know what? I recognize that I don't want to go down that road. Where in there is, well, I would have done this or I should have done that. There's no room for it. There is no purpose for it. There's no positive outcome from what you would have done. It is not this person. I get this type of thing in my DMs, and why didn't you do this, and why did you stay? And I don't need to explain myself to people. I have a file at the top of my page that goes over why I stayed. Number one, it's called marriage. Okay, and people have to understand what that means. It means for better, for worse, for richer, for poorer, in sickness and in health. That's what frickin' marriage is. I don't know why this concept is so difficult for people to understand. Why is that so difficult? Tell me, someone explain it to me in the comments. Why is that so difficult for people to understand? And really, in the same vein, a large part of the reasons why I did stay with her, and it wasn't an easy thing to do, was because she was trying. She did go to 7 rehabilitation facilities. So it was a period of I'd say the last 6-7 years of her life where it was a series of, again, she was in a rehab facility, then maybe she got a DUI, and then she was incarcerated for 60 days. Then she had to go to the hospital. Then she was in the psych ward. Then she went to a rehabilitation facility. Then, it was just really one thing after another, and it was kind of a non-stop series of events that kept occurring. And then in the middle of that, she had knee replacement surgeries, she had gastric bypass surgery, she had 3 surgeries on her ankle. So there was always this period of hospitalization, recovery, inpatient facility, outpatient facility, and it was a constant, moving forward, although the alcoholism kept getting worse and worse in her case, to the point where I think a lot of it was prescription drugs and mixed with alcohol, and then just her overall mental health began to deteriorate. And that's a big part of the process. You stay with people who are in your life. Commitment, what a concept, should be a bigger part of our world. And if you take anything about this page, we need to commit to the people who are in our life, not to the point where we are dragged down with it, but I think it shows character, and I think there needs to be a little bit more character and a little bit less of go my own way, do my own thing stuff. That doesn't really help anybody, and it doesn't keep families together. And really, the thing is that none of this has anything to do with enabling, other than the fact that she was my wife and she could live in the house that we both owned. I mean, if that's enabling, because she lived in my house and then she spent a lot of time in professional recovery on the outside. Other than that, it was a lot of tough love going on, a lot of toughness from my side and from my son's side. We didn't really put up with a whole lot, and I think to some degree that actually drove the alcohol further into secrecy, because her stages of alcohol were so deep. I mean, she was deep stage 3, stage 4, probably the last 3-4 years of her life, and that's almost an impossible situation for both the alcoholic, and it's horrible for her as well, and the family. I hope some of this makes sense. I really do. I hope families that go through this certainly identify with it, and people, before they make comments like "I woulda, shoulda, coulda," understand that it's irrelevant and just learn from these. We're all friends here, but we got to be on the same page when we're talking about this disease. And again, the memoir is called Amanda: A Cautionary Tale of Alcoholism. You can find it on Amazon. You can find it on my webpage right here at the link tree. Right at the link tree goes right to it. Also, I go live Monday through Friday right around 6 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, 9 o'clock Eastern. We have the Facebook group called There's an Alcoholic in the Family. Again, link is in the link tree, and when you're ready to work with me one-on-one, I have a complete coaching program designed for the family and the alcoholic. Set up a time. It's a Zoom call. Takes about 45 minutes. We do a deep dive into what's going on with you and your family. The call is free. The course is definitely not, and the call is really about seeing if you're a good fit for the course. And again, thanks so much for listening.